Now, Islam does have the capabilities to get rid of Ian fast. I don't know that Ian has the capabilities to get rid of Islam.
The man is a serious professional. He will come in ready and prepped and ready to absolutely demolish Ian Garry if he doesn't bring his A game and a stellar game plan. The game plan, as I said, will be stick and move. And that might sound boring, but it could get the job done.
It's a good chance, because I think he's much better on the feet with the speed, with, his combinations, how neat he is with his hands. His footwork is very, very good. I think that's the main thing that sets Ian apart from the rest of the guys. And I think it's going to help with Makhachev a little bit that he's more of a fighter. Makhachev, his feet are more on the ground. He's either going to grapple you or throw some bombs. So I think it's going to be hard to find Ian in the first 2 rounds. But I think as Ian starts to wear out and Makhachev starts to burn him a little bit and change up the level, get a good fake, land a good shot, then get to the leg, that's going to really start to wear on Ian. I think he finishes him, but it's not going to be an easy 2 rounds, is the way I see it.
Islam's hard to find. For someone who's a wrestler, you think would be a pressure fighter, he's very good on the back foot. He's very good at distance, very good at catching you coming in. And when you're really fully committed, he either catches you with punches. If you commit and open yourself up, he's got beautiful takedowns and beautiful shots. So I think there's opportunities there for him to edge around. So I'm going to have to go with the favorite on this one.
Yeah, I think it'll be a more dominant. I think it'll be a more dominant win for Islam in the second fight.
As we are in the final week of UFC 330, Islam Makhachev versus Ian Garry. Opinions are divided on who will come out on top. The experts saw a different path to victory, making the showdown even more unpredictable.
Is he just building the fight, or do you guys take these words seriously?
When you lack confidence as a man or a competitor, he's definitely lack confidence as a man. We all know that. He have to say extra things to promote the fight. And I appreciate it. To make himself more relevant. To make people believe it's going to be a competitor fight. And maybe, every fight is different. Anything can happen in a fight. But skill for skills. He cannot tie Islam's shoes. He cannot even shine his shoes. The guy have 11 fights in the UFC, 9 finishes, 9 decisions.
Kicking things off, Jorge Masvidal believes Garry has the athleticism and movement to frustrate Makhachev early. However, he expects the tide to turn once Islam begins forcing clinch exchanges, where his wrestling and grappling advantage become increasingly difficult to stop.
Can Ian Garry stop an Islam Makhachev takedown? Can he stop that? Yeah. Up against the cage, he can stop it. Out in the middle of the cage, because of his footwork, I think he can stop it. I think he has enough athleticism and he knows enough wrestling where he can give him trouble in the early part. But as that fight starts to develop, and it's going to be interesting to also see in the clinch, because Makhachev has one of the best clinches ever in MMA with the foot sweeps, the inside trips. He can go for good lateral throws. He's just the total package when it comes to grappling.
Expanding on that point, Masvidal explains that Islam's signature single legs, body locks, and trips slowly wear opponents down. In his view, those relentless attacks drain both the body and the mind until resistance eventually fades. Looking beyond the result itself, Chael Sonnen says simply, beating Garry is not enough. Completely outclassing such a young elite challenger, especially in striking, would elevate Islam Makhachev's legacy far more than an ordinary title defense.
And he can dominate Ian Garry, which I don't think Rakhmonov did. Rakhmonov decisively defeated him. I don't think anybody thought Ian was outclassed or didn't belong in there. But if Islam can go out there and outclass him, particularly if there's some good stand-up exchanges, I think that it's going to weigh very heavy on him. Don't forget how young Ian Garry is. Don't let that get away from you. That's the real number. That's the real number that very seldomly is overcome. It would prove a lot.
Building on that praise, Chael still gives Islam Makhachev the edge. He believes Ian Garry's path to victory is by outpointing the champion over 5 rounds, not by finishing him.
The fact that Islam was able to throw Jack down and hold him down kind of proved my point. Now, Islam does have the capabilities to get rid of Ian fast. I don't know that Ian has the capabilities to get rid of Islam fast. I do not believe, contrary to popular belief, contrary to my partners over at DraftKings who believe if Ian Garry is going to win, he's more likely to win by knockout than anything else, I don't agree. I believe he needs to win 3 rounds. I believe he can spot Islam too. And I believe we got to go to the cards. I think that is Gary's most likely way to win. But let's stay on Islam. If Islam struggles for takedowns, does that help him or hurt him? Well, if he's winning the fight, I think that it helps him because that means he's outstriking Ian Garry. That would really impress all of us.
Expanding on that idea, Demetrius Johnson says the outcome depends on whether Islam can consistently close the distance while Garry maintains movement and range. The constant battle between striking distance and relentless wrestling pressure ultimately decides everything. Mighty Mouse said, "That's a great fight. Ian Garry is more of a counter fighter. He likes to control the distance and stay away from his opponent, while Islam Makhachev is very good with his wrestling, has a strong body kick, and very good hands. It's going to depend on how he's able to get to Ian Garry, and how Ian Garry is able to move and negate the clash that needs to happen in the fight." Michael Bisping shares a similar opinion. While he favors Makhachev overall, he believes Gary's size, reach, and striking ability make him one of the toughest challengers Islam has faced in recent years.
He doesn't care. He doesn't care one little bit. All he cares about is beating Islam Makhachev next week and becoming the welterweight champion of the world. Now, there is a very good possibility that that happens, right? I do favor Islam Makhachev, of course I do. I would be a fool to sit here and say that Islam Makhachev doesn't probably win that fight, right? That's just foolish, right? He probably does. He's unbelievable, right? He's incredible at what he does. He's the greatest lightweight of all time. He's probably the best pound-for-pound fighter in all of the sport that's active right now. But Ian Garry does have a unique challenge. He's 6'3", he's very long, he's quick, he's a good striker, and he's not afraid to spoil the fight.
Taking that thought further, Bisping says the opening takedown could change everything. If Islam establishes top control early, he expects the champion to hunt for a finish rather than simply rack up control time.
Leave no stone unturned and you get ready. But here's the reality of it. If Islam Makhachev gets a hold of him, he's going to take him down really easy. And then the big question becomes, can Ian Garry get back to his feet? Because if he can't get back to his feet, then guess what? It's probably over. And we know that Islam Makhachev is a ridiculous finisher. It ain't going to look like Khamzat Chimaev versus Dricus du Plessis, not talking shit, but there was a lot of grappling, a lot of control time on that one. No, he likes to choke people out. 28 wins, 5 knockouts, 13 submissions. So he stopped 18 out of the 28 wins, okay?
From Makhachev's side, Ali Abdelaziz insists the champion has never looked better. He says Islam continues adding new weapons to an already elite game, making him an even more complete fighter than during previous title defenses.
Man is like, it's weird, man. Like he's, every camp he's just getting better, added more tools. He's in great shape, doesn't even breathe hard. Inspiring, like, you know, it's like, and he's getting put a lot of great fighter, you know, but he's the best I've seen him, honestly.
Wow, yeah, that's what was the best before this, if you can recall?
The last fight, he's just getting better, man, and better and better. He just added a lot of tools into his game, you know, from striking, from different submissions, from just wrestling, just mixing it up differently. He's just a puzzle. Is even the guys in the training session is really hard to figure out.
Abdelaziz also predicts a familiar outcome. He expects Gary's movement to delay the pressure early, but believes Islam will eventually trap him against the fence, force grappling exchanges, and secure the stoppage.
Islam's last 11 fight, 9 finishes or 8 finishes. You know, Islam finishes people. Islam bounce people head off the wall. Islam submit people. You know, he's gonna do what Islam want him to do in the fight. Islam is gonna hunt him like a deer who's a hunter, who's a 50 caliber machine gun, and after that he's gonna put a bullet in his head, and he's gonna put him out. You know what I'm saying? Because he's gonna run like a deer, and he's fast. He can run. But when the last time we see him knock somebody out?
Doubling down, Abdelaziz argues Garry simply hasn't reached Makhachev's level. While he respects Gary's toughness, he believes Islam's complete skill set will eventually expose the gap between them.
At the end of the day, August 14, Islam Makhachev is gonna send Ian Garry back to the kitchen washing dishes. This was gonna happen. This is what he liked to do. We're gonna send him do house tours. He talked a lot, and he talked about me. I'm the manager, dude. Like, nobody cares about me, but when you talk about me, I'm gonna talk back about you. I don't think he's on Islam level. I think he's a great runner. I think he just avoid not to be finished. And I truly believe Islam Makhachev is going to finish him.
Arman Tsarukyan also backs Makhachev. He points to Islam's championship experience and his remarkable ability to dictate where every exchange takes place.
Islam Makhachev, so tough for Garry. Garry has a good striking. I think on the striking, Garry, on the long distance with his kicks, he can make problem for Islam, but Islam has a good timing of takedown. He's gonna take him down and most likely submit.
Despite spending time training alongside Garry, Charles Oliveira reaches the same conclusion. He credits Makhachev's discipline, fight IQ, and relentless wrestling pressure as the biggest reasons he remains the favorite.
Не делаем то, что умеем лучше всего. Вот как у Махачева. У него есть свой правильный план. Перевести вниз, давить, снова давить, навязывать давление. И я считаю, что именно такой бой для него и является самым правильным.
Georges St-Pierre also leans toward the champion. Although he praises Garry's striking and movement, GSP believes Islam simply has more ways to win and expects grappling to be the deciding factor if the fight hits the mat.
Because of the style favors Makhachev, probably. Because of the the styles. I think Islam Makhachev have maybe more ways to win the fight. So if I'm just thinking rational, according to the odds, I think it favors Makhachev. But Ian Garry definitely has all the chance also on his side to do it. He's a very good striker. He's very long. He's great grappling, a great grappler as well. But he need, I think, to find a way to keep the fight standing, and to use his style to his own advantage. But Islam Makhachev is, stylistically, he's a freaking nightmare to fight for anyone. He's, I think, right now, the best pound for pound on the planet.
Yeah, I agree. And Ian Garry, though, Ian Garry's 6'3", and he's so good at his lateral movement. He's so good at fighting at his range. And he's a real welterweight. He'll probably walk in the cage 193, 195 pounds.
Not everyone expects an easy night for the champion, though. Ray Longo believes Garry's awkward movement, length, and reach could create real problems early, forcing Islam to solve a difficult puzzle before taking control.
Look, well, first off, obviously you got to get the wrestling squared away, which isn't easy to do because the guy's at a super high level, but there is a big size discrepancy, Ken. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like there is, he is long and lanky. I think he's awkward. He's not like the most technically sound. And I think that actually is going to give Islam trouble, because I think he's just a little quirky with everything. And he's got the size, I think, to give this guy trouble. He's big. Ian Garry's a big kid. This is a big 170-pounder, so I'm really curious to see how it plays out.
Continuing that technical breakdown, Kenny Florian agrees Garry's range will be dangerous at first. Still, he expects Makhachev's pressure, cage cutting, and wrestling to gradually erase those advantages as the fight progresses.
I think that's a factor. There's no question about it. Not only is he 6'3", he knows how to use it. He fights long. He throws a lot of kicks down the middle, kicks upstairs, and the jab is probably the best striking weapon that he has. So I think for Islam Makhachev, it's all about getting in on those legs or getting to the body in some way, shape, or form. And that's also a blessing and a curse in that, against taller fighters, level changes are also easier to hit. Now, you got to be careful with knees down the middle and things like that on those level changes. But it is a factor. How he closes the distance, how small he can make the cage, is going to be very important for him.
Even while picking Islam, Longo still believes Garry has a chance if he can constantly move, scramble, and avoid prolonged grappling exchanges. But he warns that spending too much time underneath Makhachev is a battle very few fighters survive.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, look, to further that, Islam 100% is the better fighter.
like I think in all areas. But that's why. So I just think this kid's awkward. And like what you're saying, he has to break him down. That's what Garry has to do. He's got to keep getting back to his feet. Hopefully he's learned something from watching the tapes. He can get back to his feet, and then he can wear the other guy down also. So that would be my strategy, is you just can't stop moving. You got to get back to your feet. Like, you can't acquiesce and lay on your back and, give that guy a chance to settle in and just hold you there.
Craig Jones also expects a tougher contest than many fans predict. He believes Garry possesses the technical skills to ask questions that few opponents have ever forced Makhachev to answer.
Do you think Ian Garry could beat Islam?
I actually do. I actually do think he has a very good chance at beating Islam. I remember watching, so what Islam does really, obviously does a bunch of things incredibly well. Like, I slander him at any chance I get, but truly appreciate every ounce of technique he does. And one of his most beautiful takedowns is a single leg, where a guy digs an underhook and he turns it into a clubbing takedown. And now Shavkat tried that exact move on Ian Garry, and Ian Garry countered it and ended up on Shavkat's back. So I think an open space takedown, Islam's go-to, Ian Garry does have a very good answer too.
Former UFC champion Cain Velasquez points to Islam's non-stop evolution as the biggest reason behind his success. He says Makhachev continues improving every aspect of his game, instead of relying solely on his wrestling.
He's a special type of athlete, as we all know. He's one of those guys that are at the pinnacle of this sport here. I talk with Javier all the time, and Islam and those guys are always doing great, so they're in great hands. Javier is the one who builds champions. He's a master at what he does. So he's always with those guys. He's always with Islam, and so I know they're in great hands. They're getting exactly what they need as far as the fighting goes, the training goes, all that. So I see Islam just continuously doing what he's doing, and that's winning impressively. He's somebody who's mastered all aspects of MMA.
Henry Cejudo, meanwhile, reminds fans not to overlook Garry's grappling. He highlights Garry's performance against Shavkat Rakhmonov as proof that he can threaten elite wrestlers, making this matchup much closer than many expect.
Even Ian Garry, man, Ian Garry could take the back very, very well. He's shown that, man. If you're able to take the back against a guy like Shavkat Rakhmonov and then almost finish him with the smaller guy with longer legs, I personally think this is a good fight for Ian Garry. I think a harder fight would be like a guy like Kamaru, but for Ian Garry, I feel like this is good for him, in my opinion.
Ariel Helwani and Patesi Carroll echo that sentiment. They believe Garry's movement, reach, and distance management give him a genuine opportunity to stay competitive. At the same time, both still recognize Makhachev as the deserved favorite because of his complete all-around skill set.
I mean, I guess if it's a really quick fight, but
it's not going to be a quick fight, I don't think.
It's not going to be. Do you fancy his chances, PT?
I think he has a chance, absolutely. I think, look, Islam's the best fighter in the world. It's a huge task. He'll test Ian in a way that we thought Bilal would, and he didn't. So I'm interested to see how it plays out. But I think Ian can have a lot of success if he sticks to his long range on the outside. Absolutely. We've seen him do this time and time again. It's just a different beast across the cage from. Understandably, Islam is the favorite, but absolutely wouldn't rule Ian Garry out, especially after, the week we've just had. Poatan and Ilya Topuria. I mean, how could you rule the dude out at this stage? I mean,
Carlos Prates rounds out the predictions by giving Garry plenty of respect. While he acknowledges Islam as the likely winner, he believes Garry has the technical ability to produce an upset. His only concern is whether Garry has enough finishing power to truly trouble a champion as durable as Makhachev.
Of course, he's an underdog against Makhachev, but I truly believe he have a really good skills to beat Makhachev, Of course, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be a hard fight. I think if he would the guy knock people out a little bit more, he hurt a little bit more, would be less hard to beat Makhachev, He do a lot of points. He don't hurt people. But I think he have a chance, really good chance, like real chance, you know, to beat Makhachev, but it's gonna be a hard fight.
The predictions are locked in, but the real answer comes inside the octagon. Will Islam Makhachev continue his reign, or will Ian Machado Garry shock the world? Drop your prediction in the comments, and be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss the biggest MMA stories.